Men are actually every bit as intelligent as they got to be as intelligent as us because we're intelligent and they play us a whole lot of times, right? So they gotta at least be as intelligent as we are. They're such intelligent beings that when you start telling a man, oh, this is my standard, oh, I require this, oh, I need that from a man, oh, blah, 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 guess what? They can clock whether or not that's your authentic self or not. They can clock whether or not that's something that you heard on somebody's podcast and you're trying it out and you're trying to see if he goes for it. Like I've already told my daughter, in fact, I asked her, first of all, when I pass away, because you got to have those talks, you never know when it'll happen. Once I pass, hopefully I'm in a very good place. In fact, I told her, if you want to celebrate me, when I pass away, don't go to somebody's cemetery. When you ever see me hang out at a cemetery, when you ever see me take you to a cemetery, and this is no knock on people who do that, but I'm just telling her, for me, I don't want you to do that. I want you, baby, go on to brunch, sip on your little glass of wine or something. Those have been my daughter's instructions for Memorial Day. But I saw my same principal in that same outfit Saturday morning. How is you sitting in them well-seasoned panties for 72 hours? What's up, sunshine? We are turning on some lights so we can see. We just got out of the shower. Oh, I'm still dripping wet, as you all can see. And this is normally the time where I would sit down and do a roller set or something, but I'm gonna be honest, I've been dogging my hair lately. And all I've been doing is pulling it in a snatch back bun. Only thing I've changed about that snatch back has been maybe do it on the left side, do it on the right side, do it up the middle, whatever. But baby, she been snatched back. So because I've been kind of abusing my hair, I think in one video, the last time I actually did a roller set, I want to say that I actually admitted that I've got some breakage. And if I'm being really honest, most of my life I've had longer hair. I don't really care about that length right now, but I do care about the health of it. So for that reason, I am setting myself up to deep condition my hair. Look at just dripping down. And let me say this too. Like I said before, my hair is actually really, really wet right now, which is not the best time to deep condition it. So I'm going to let it do a little bit of drying. And I thought, while I'm letting it dry, I'm going to set up for the whole thing here, get ready to talk with y'all and all of that. Let me stop talking in the mirror because it's kind of weird. And I'll just start doing what I'm talking about. How about that? I am using this Moisture Recovery by Joyco. It is my go-to conditioner, but I've been pulling my hair back, noticing a little breakage, so I'm not going to put it on the usual way. I'm going to go in depth and use this brush. But to this, I am adding a little bit of black castor oil. This to me is reminiscent of the hot oil treatments our parents and stuff used to do back in the 70s and all that. Yeah, baby, I'm going right back to that because you never really saw or even heard of them having breakage problems. Whether they were natural or relaxed, the hair was doing what the hair was doing. And those afros, don't even get me started on that. The afros were really thriving. I don't know how much I put in. I put in about that much. It kind of looks like a lot, but I used a dropper, so, I mean, how much is it? And then I like Humectress. Back in the day when I was a longer haired girl, they had a leave-in Humectress kind of conditioner that I use. I'm not putting in a whole lot of that because this is a protein one, and I'm using it because, lately I've been using the shampoo that colors your hair. I hope this is enough. It looks like about enough. And I'm just going to give this a mix. But anyway, I've been using that shampoo. And sometimes I feel like when you put processes in your hair, be it relaxers or colors, bleaches, whatever's, you need to restore that protein that is stripped from your hair. But in this case, I'm really doing the moisture. That's why I'm heavy on the Joyco. And then I'm adding just a touch of protein along with the oil. So we're going to do all of this, and then I'm going to sit my happy parts under the little dryer. All right, I had to grab my rat tail comb just to do a little bit of parting, but now that I think about it, there's a little tip on the brush. But anyway, I'm deep conditioning my hair, and I have enough sense to know that when I have some of those short hairs in between the other hairs, that my conditioner probably isn't reaching it. And that makes sense because, you know, when you think about it, I always forget something. This time I forgot to get some little clips. Let me grab those. Stay forgetting something. All right. I think I got enough. Here we go. In between hustling back and forth and being on the phone, I can't remember if I told y'all about the wind down. Whoop whoop. We are down to the last week of school. Hallelujah. And it's time for a shift in the custody agreement. Make sure I ain't showing too much. And yes, I am wearing my booty shorts and all the things. Anyway, let me try to stay focused because I was watching my Memorial Day vlog. I was like, girl, anytime you got to step in and explain what you're saying in the midst of you saying it, girl, you're saying too much. You're saying too much. But anyway, what I initially started off saying was we are in the midst of shifting our custody agreement. It's time for America to take care of their kids, baby. Yeah, summertime is here. Summer, summer, summertime indeed. Anyway, I'm getting in, as you all can see. Hopefully I've angled everything right. I'll find out in editing. I'm really trying to get in there to get all the short hairs and make sure that I well condition it. Because as I was saying before, if you were doing hair color or relaxer even, you would not just skim it over the top. And I think a lot of times we skim conditioner over the top and we think we've done the doggone thing, and we really haven't. So I'm just doing this to get in on those short hairs and make sure I'm properly conditioning this hair that I have so been mistreating. But anyway, we're down to the last few days, and I could not be happier about it. Period. All right, into that subject. The next thing I was getting ready to talk about is my Memorial Day weekend. Girl, through the beauty of editing, y'all didn't see all the struggles and troubles I had trying to light that dog on fire. Oh my gosh, it got on my last nerve. I drank every bit of that drink that I made. And a nertin'. I did. I sure did. Why not? It took me hours to get that grill started, so I had plenty of time to do it. Lordy, that was a lot. It was a lot. We might as well do this side too. But anyway, this is this conditioning here. I used to do it probably once a monthish, get in with a brush and do all of that. That was more so when I actually and really cared about the conditioning. You see now I'm getting in the roots, and later I'll smooth it through and bring it on down to the ends of my hair, which of course are the oldest. People say you need to tend to those too. But if your hair is looking thin, you probably have a lot of breakage. If you're one of those people who say, dang, my hair just don't grow like that, it probably does. Everybody's hair does. But you're probably getting some breakage in the middle of it growing from one month to the next. And it looks like I might have to mix up some more cream, and that's fine. But that Joico, that is a good conditioner in between your washes in general, but really good for this deep conditioning I'm doing because it just gives your hair so much moisture. And then the other one, the Humectress, boasts about elasticity. I will say my hair is has a pretty good amount of elasticity in it. But, you know, no amount of dog in your hair and all of that, no conditioner can really counter that. So sometimes you just have to give it a little extra care. I sure did get that on my weight. Y'all see me back to using my little weights. Sometimes I forget. I need to just at one point I had them in my closet so I'd remember, and then I'd put on my fragrances and all that and forget, walk right past it. I don't know where to put these weights to remember. I really don't. But what I really need to do is get in the gym and seriously lift weights, because I do my walking, and that's pretty good. And I'm not going to kid you, I've lost weight from consistently walking. That much is true. But the thing about walking, ladies, is that as soon as you stop, the burning of calories also stops. But when you lift weights, that continues. So you put the weights down from lifting and all of that workout session, you're still burning calories because the muscles are still working on the strengthening that you did. So there's the difference. Stop walking, stop burning calories. Lift weights, continue burning calories, even when you're done lifting the weights. Oh, this thing is slippery. I'm gonna wipe my hands. But anyway, the next thing I was talking about, Memorial Day weekend, I was so glad that so many of you responded positively about wearing booty shorts and self-love and accepting yourself, whatever size, whatever stage, all of that. For me, that has been a really big deal lately. I quoted that Eartha Kitt quote. I mentioned, I should say, I mentioned the Eartha Kitt quote, because I sure didn't quote it right. I messed that all up. About just the importance of loving yourself. And that is really a big deal. I can't remember if I went on the sides, and it doesn't quite feel like it. So let's go there, shall we? And the thing I've been thinking more and more about lately is the huge difference between just living and really being alive. Like when you're really feeling alive, you have something that sparks your curiosity. You have something you're learning about, something that you're interested in, something you're doing that goes beyond what so many other people do, which is that there are a lot of people I know as I talk with them and I ask them, hey, so what are you doing after work? What are you doing this weekend? And different things like that. So many of them say things like, oh, I'm just tired. I'm going home. I'm just whatever. First of all, I got one of those jobs. I tell you, it will absolutely wear you out. But it is so important to do more than just let that job wear you out. If you're one of those people and you're on that repeat cycle of wake up, go to work, come home, scroll, watch videos. Listen, I appreciate y'all. I do. If you're watching me, I genuinely appreciate you. But hear me when I say this. I want you to do more than that. I want you to get out and experience some things. And I feel like I want you to see me experiencing things. If that's going to be your inspo, let it be your inspo. So I need to get better about showing y'all some of the things that I do. Um, I can't remember if I've told y'all this before, but this time right here, right now, is the first time I have lived alone, honestly, ever. And I low-key love it. Now, don't get me wrong. When I got married, I absolutely thought, oh, okay, this is till death do us part and all of that. Loved raising my daughter. I enjoy when my granddaughter comes over. All of that, I do. But I love living alone. I'm not going to pretend that I don't. It's a wonderful time. And what I find is initially, prior to me actually living alone, I got to mix up some more conditioner and stuff. But prior to me actually living alone, I was concerned about it. Because I had never done it before. I was genuinely worried. I probably even held on to my marriage a little bit longer than I definitely wanted to, because I was kind of clocked out or done. When a woman is done, she's done. So I probably stayed in it. Heck, I'll even be honest. At one point, when we finally decided we were going to move, my ex still kind of wanted to work things out. Now, I wasn't considering working it out. Whoa. I don't know what y'all see. I'm going to have to do some editing. But I wasn't considering working it out. But at one point, I did consider, you know what? I could save a lot of money if we roomed together. Girl, wasn't that stupid? Wasn't that stupid? But thankfully, I did not go that path. And I will say initially I was concerned about living alone. Are people going to see that there's a woman living alone? Is she going to try to take advantage? all of that stuff. But I ended up moving to a safe area. I had another wonderful elderly neighbor, Mr. Terry. He lived directly across from me in my little rabbit hole. And he and I formed I wouldn't say a friendship necessarily, but I know just like Mr. Mays, every time I would go outside, Mr. Terry and grill and stuff, Mr. Terry would come out. My granddaughter, she was very small then. She would go out and she would write with the sidewalk chalk and all of that stuff, or we go to the playground and there he'd show up and we would chat for a bit. So he would always tell me, "Hey, I saw this going on," or I saw someone. He would see my ex sometimes come over and he said, "I thought you were at home, but you didn't answer the door." And I said, "I was at home, Mr. Terry, but I didn't want to answer the door." He said, "Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know." And so the next time my ex came dropping by, it was Mr. Terry actually who talked to him and said, "This ain't a good idea, young man. Did you call her first? Because I feel like if you called her, she would have answered the door." So, I mean, I have been very blessed in that way to have those elderly neighbors. Because again, when I was signing the rental agreement on that apartment, I didn't know that there was a Mr. Cherry across the way. I feel like God looks out for me. Babies and fools, right? Babies and fools. But I feel like God was really looking out for me with the neighbors that I've had. So, anyway, that's not what I was saying. What I was talking about is the difference between, so sorry, I had to clear my throat. What I was talking about is the difference between just being alive and genuinely living, getting up, getting out of the house, doing stuff, finding something that piques your interest and leaning into that. You know what I mean? Pick up a hobby or meet up with some friends and all of that stuff. Don't worry about, oh, they probably might think you're lonely, or I don't know, they might think you're desperate. I don't, whatever things might hold you back. I genuinely don't know, because I will say I'm also blessed with a pretty good friend circle of women who want to do stuff. Now, sometimes there's a difference between the stuff they want to do and the stuff I want to do. Sometimes I have to compromise and do some of the things they want to do in order to get them to do the things I want to do. And then other times, I literally just have to find myself going to different places and meeting people who have those same hobbies and interests that I have. Like, just to make something up, if I'm interested in pickleball, for example, just get up and go to pickleball. You'll meet the people there when you get there. If I'm interested in painting, get up and go to some painting activities. You'll meet more women who are interested in that when you get there. But oh, for the love of God, don't just sit at home and do absolutely nothing. Please, like, life is too short. There's so much to enjoy other than that. Cooking is a good hobby. There are classes. Get on Groupon and look for things to do. I'm just making sure I rub it through. Now that I have it on all my short hairs, I'm rubbing it on my longer hairs just to get it all conditioned. Like I said, the wise thing to do would be to go ahead and set my hair and all of that stuff, bringing it back in the bun. But baby, it's just a few more days of school left. We gonna do the bond. Realistically speaking, we gonna keep slapping it on back. So we might as well give it a good condition while it's on its way back there. But anyway, and then I'll sit under the dryer probably for about 20, 30 minutes or so and let it really work its way in there. Rinse it out and put some leave-in and all that throughout my hair later. But as I was saying about life, I think a lot of times, a lot of us are just waiting to start feeling better about life, like it's going to magically happen for us. But the reality is, it's not happening for us because it's not up to life to just happen. It has to be something that we actively work on, or we actively look forward to, or we actively make happen for ourselves. And I'm being so serious about this. You hear a lot of people saying, I'm not that happy in life. I'm not that, or at least I do. Some of my coworkers talk like that. And I feel like it's not that they're unhappy, and I'm not trying to downplay their feelings or anything, but I feel like it's more so that they're disconnected. They're not finding that joy that I was talking about. They're not They're not curious about something anymore, or they're not even feeling excitement about doing something, learning about something, all the things that it takes for us to feel alive. You know what I mean? I think that's why a lot of adults reach that place where they feel emotionally numb. Like I work with so many kids, and it's beautiful to see them so curious about something, so interested in trying a new feat. I don't care if it's something as simple as monkey bars. Like I've literally had some kids who say, "Dang, I can't do the monkey bars," or like I'll ask them, "What are you doing? How come you don't try that right there? You're just running around in circles. You know how to do the monkey bars?" "No, I don't know how to do that." And I make a big deal out of using the word yet. You mean you don't know how to do that yet? Get up there and try it. You know what? I mean, yeah, oh, look at that. You did one ring. I don't know what you call it on monkey bars, but oh wow, you successfully made it past that first rung. Now what are you gonna do? I bet if you keep working on it, next week you're gonna do two. Next week you know what I mean? And I keep talking to them about that and getting them to feel excitement because like I was saying before, life is so much more than just going to work and paying bills and scrolling and then going to bed. Once again, I say thank you. I appreciate y'all for watching me. Love you dearly for it, but I want you to do more. And I'm going to make sure you start seeing me do more. But there's just more to life than paying the bills. And I've had to have this talk for myself even. There's more than surviving. There's more than healing. There's more than being a caregiver. There's more than stressing about whatever the things are that you're stressing about. It's important that we do more and have more than just wake up, go to work, repeat. You know, we got to do more than that. And so I think one of the most underrated forms of self-love, because that's what I was talking about in my last video, self-care, self-love. I think one of the most underrated things about that is just finding something that stimulates you, whether it's emotionally, mentally, creatively, spiritually, whatever it is, whatever that stimulation looks like for you, you got to find that. Because when your life only consists of those obligations and things like that, then you're going to end up associating yourself and your life with exhaustion. You're going to find yourself feeling tired all of the time, when in reality, you're not tired. You're not living a tired life. You're just tired of the stuff that you're always doing. And living that kind of exhausted existence, that changes how you actually see yourself. You know what I mean? That's not what we're doing. A lot of times people talk about how confidence only comes from saying affirmations or how you look and how you dress and all of that. And yes, I mentioned the booty shorts. That is a part of feeling good about yourself, but that's not all of it. Because honestly, a lot of confidence to me comes from enjoying who you are, even when you're alone. And that's exactly why I want to start my series on being alone but not lonely. Because do you know how healing it is to become someone who actually likes spending time alone? Oh my God, it is game changing. It's more than game changer, it's life changing. Like, I'm dead serious because not everything's going to be perfect. Um, you got to feel happy about yourself, not because you're rich, not because you made it, not because you've reached a certain goal. You're just going to have to feel good about yourself because you're seeing that your life has texture to it. It has joy to it, and all of that, all the things that make you feel alive and awake again, all the challenges that you're looking forward to conquering. You know what I mean? Like those kids on the monkey bars. But of course, we're not doing monkey bars, but maybe we're doing things like meeting new people at a coffee shop. I'm not a coffee drinker, but if that's your thing, girlfriend, go for it. Go to a little coffee shop and sit amongst people, listen to the noises there, and meet up with people. Start reading again. Learn a new skill. I don't care if it's macrame or knitting or something. Rearrange the furniture in your apartment if you can't afford to flat out redecorate it. I know putting a couple of touches in my home here lately, that gave me some joy. I sometimes go on walks. Now, I wear the headphones, but one, I wear my headphones low. And then there are other times where I'll have the headphones on, but there's no sound. I'm just walking and reconnecting with God and doing stuff like that. Find hobbies for yourself that don't have anything to do with you being productive. It's just all about you being you. You know what I mean? And again, I mentioned the one before. Dress sexy for yourself or nicely for yourself, even if nobody's going to see you. I don't care if you're just going to Hollywood. Put on something nice. Look good. Make yourself feel good. You know, I think people underestimate how much feeling stagnant or even depressed can be tied into you not learning and not doing and just not elevating yourself. You know what I mean? Not all the time, because I do understand that there is a such thing as mental health, especially when you're associating it with depression and everything. And I'm certainly not downplaying that. That's a real thing. Mental health is definitely real and it can be complex. But sometimes I think a lot of us are claiming things like ADHD and depression and all of that, when the reality is we're none of that. We're just emotionally starved or something. You know what I mean? We keep waiting for whatever it is you're waiting for. You're waiting for a relationship, waiting for money, waiting for, some goal of success that you have. I forgot. Some of you were curious about how my grilling came out. Well, it took a long time. I'm not going to kid you. But the food itself came out really good. And so the way I've been eating it for pretty much lunch and dinner is I've been putting my kebabs on a bed of bean salad, and I'm down to my last bit. So I'm going to scrape the last bit of that on there. I need a new dishwater now. But anyway, got my little bed of bean salad, and then now this is what's left of what I grilled. I think I'll do a sausage kebab. I'll slide that on along with the shrimp kebab. I've still got a lobster tail, and there's a burger under the bottom there. But yep, I just slide it on down. And I'm not the biggest fan of the microwave, so I've been kind of like you would stir fry food or something. I just stir this around in my skillet, and it's been really delicious. I'm not gonna kid you. So yeah, that's how my grilling came out. So it's about time for me to do a little bit more meal prepping, obviously, since I'm out of my salad. Oops, I almost left a bite. Waste not, want not. Whatever that external validation is, and you're waiting on that to breathe life into you instead of just becoming the active participant in your own joy. And I just had to realize that if I'm not the person who adds beauty, curiosity, peace, excitement, or something meaningful to my life, then why would I expect somebody else to do it for me? You know what I mean? Like, you have to give yourself experiences in your own life that remind you that you're alive. We got to have passions and interests, and we have to add depth to our lives, curiosity, pleasure, creativity, freedom, all of that stuff needs to be added into our lives. Living a life like that doesn't have to be a big deal or something all super dramatic or any of that stuff. I'm really pressing and rubbing this conditioner in very well to my hair. But it doesn't have to be any of those dramatic things. It doesn't even have to be expensive. While you're cooking, turn on a little jazz music or whatever kind of music you like to elevate your life. Light a couple of candles. You know what I mean? Like, just do something that adds a little bit more to your life. Find something interesting. I'm so big on those hobbies and things like that. That's the stuff that keeps you alive. And I feel like when you do that, whether it's journaling or keeping a cleaner space or just something different, when you do those types of things for yourself, I'm sorry, I don't know if that's as loud to you all. Let me finish making my noise and push all the air out. But I just feel like when you do simple things like that, you're adding that intentionality to your life. You're adding that thing that makes it more than surviving or getting through another day and all of that stuff. You're adding a level of richness and joy and happiness to your life that makes you feel excited about your own life. You got to get beyond surviving and getting through. You got to get to living, and that is exactly more of what I want to focus on. Right now, I'm gonna get my happy parts under the dryer, and I hope I wasn't being too preachy, because a lot of the stuff that I say to you, I'm also saying to me. I'm also saying I need to get out and explore more. One of the things I want to do is tour my own city. I want to do the things that if I was a tourist coming into KC, what would I do? Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some of that then. And a lot of that stuff is actually free. Just looking at some of the sites and things like that. So I hope y'all enjoy that journey with me. But anyway, here we are. We got the conditioner on our hair. We're leaning into the next couple of days, and we'll talk some more as we do that. What's up, sunshine? I am without my mic. Let's get fed. What's up, sunshine? Today I figured I'll stop by DSW, take a look at some shoes, because I kind of need spring shoes. Shoes just kind of wear out. And since school is about to get out, not going to be wearing tennis shoes as much as I typically wear tennis shoes. So maybe we'll slap a little polish on the toes, buff them up, and pull the dogs out. As my grandfather would always say, we're going to pull out our dogs. We tired. And wear some, spring, summer type of shoes. I definitely don't wear them at my job because, kids don't have a problem with stepping on your toes and standing there. Like, what you doing? And you know what? For some reason, I'm getting ready to pass JCPenney, but I thought, no, let's actually turn into JCPenney. Every so often, they'll surprise me with a good deal. I'm like, oh, let me check into that. I wonder if that nothing but cake deal is going on. They had a BOGO. She creeped right into the path. Thankfully, I'm turning. Bless her heart. She looked way too old to be driving. And she approached a stop sign. Where I came from off the street, I don't stop. I'm supposed to enter. And the other opposing traffic is supposed to stop. So she came all the way into the intersection and then stopped in the way of everybody. Luckily, I was turning right. It always makes me sad to see older people like that, because one of the ways we knew that my mom was, it was getting to be that time for her, was she would drive and she would just pull over and ask perfect strangers to help her find her way here and there. And one time she even asked them to help her find her way home. What really sealed the deal for us was we had gone over there to visit. And I don't know what it was in the car, but it was me, my daughter, and my granddaughter, very, very young granddaughter. She might have blown out a candle. She might have been one. But anyway, my mother's car had been parked in the garage for who knows how long. Whenever she got home, some stranger helped her get home, and it was still running. Had we just left, those fumes, because my mother's bedroom was right over the garage, my mother would have inhaled those fumes all night long. It just would have, filtered into the house. So we were like, yep, too much going on. That, between that and her microwaving spoons and, just things that she absolutely knows to not do, or she absolutely knew to not do, she was doing those things. But yeah, just to see that lady. Hello, welcome in. Thank you. I'm like, where is her family? Bless her heart. Anyway, we're going to shake that blues off, head into JCPenney, like I said, just see, look around, see if they've got anything. It's not that I don't want you here. Yeah. It's something about the way you stare into my eyes. I know that I don't make things clear. I fall for you every time I try to resist you. We can get away. Palm trees, beach views, food and everything. All I wanna hear is in the pictures I regret. Sit right next to you. I try not to show how I feel about you. Think you wish you away, but we don't really want to. I just wanna get away and sit right next to you. I don't wanna kiss you. Yeah, I just wanna feel you. Feel you. What's nice, they put a little modesty thing in here. There's that polka dot that's in season, but leopard never goes out for me. Ah, look, LBD action going. I know that don't say $64, so I'm waiting for my eyes to adjust. Dang, even the shorts are going for $30. Y'all for the play. Y'all got a sign that says stuff is for sale, but oh, okay, that's cute. Got a little slip dress in polka dot action. It's got the ruffles, or lace, I guess you could call it, at the top and bottom. I know this is overpriced, but I'm curious. $88 again. I'm trying to drop a pound or two, so I don't really want to look bigger. $38 and standing. Ain't no sale price nowhere near that. You know what? I'm looking at H&M. I'm kind of tempted to go in there. I was about to say, but I saw a couple of cute things on Temu, and I got that in mind. I swear, sites like Temu, Shein, stuff like that, that really spoils me as a shopper. Because, like, right now, I'm looking at that outfit for like $29.99. I don't want to pay that. I don't want to pay that. Because I feel like I can find it cheaper on Temu or Shein. You know what I mean? Like, what? No, you're asking too much. Let me see if I can back up and turn in because I'm coming the wrong way. But let's poke about, shall we? Okay, their prices are already looking better than JCPenney. That's cute. It's quick, but it is cute. I wonder if I can put a little link on that. It's not appealing at all. Like, don't nobody see that the dress is touching the floor like that? I wouldn't want to buy it after it's been all over this little nasty, terrible floor. I'll tell you another thing I didn't care for. I walked through that whole store, not one person asked me if I needed help. I'm funny about my money like that. Like, you gotta talk to me. Not only talk to me, but shoot, you gotta talk to me a certain way. You know how many children I gotta fuss at to give me a little piece of a check? Since the sun's out a little bit, I'm gonna risk it and just walk on over to DSW. It's not a long walk, it's like the end of the block. You know, I guess the country look really is in. They're saying it's a bit sweet, a touch classic, or a little gothic. Find a style as unique as you. Um, yeah, I don't see none of, Mind your business, Kymberly. You ain't got something nice to say? Don't say nothing at all. Keep it pushing. You said you was taking your happy parts to DSW. Take your happy parts on then. Let's do that. And when I come here, I go straight to the back. Well, I try to. Sometimes I see a shoe or 10 that might stop me along the way. We shall see. Okay, sure. Really, thank you. See, that's what I'm talking about. I got these aisles tight. Mm-hmm. What happened to the signs? DSW, y'all ain't finna play with me. I'm not crazy. They had the signs. Blue meant something, red meant something, green meant something. They stopped doing that. Because they sure didn't ask me if they could. They play too much. So everything's just 30% off? So you can't get nothing but 30% off of $65? Oh yeah, everybody's telling me to go to Temu. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Everybody want me to just go on the Temu. Are y'all into the whimsical shoes? Oh, okay, that explains. That's Betty Johnson shoe, yep. Yeah. I can see that. I still remember when I was liking this shoe, but it just did not look good on my foot. Yeah, I'm disappointed. The clearance prices were giving clearance prices, but not only that, the the whole way that they used to do it, they didn't have it like that no more. Like what? I feel like I just keep falling out with stores. And I still like to go to a store and touch. Y'all like that? I still like touching and feeling. I don't just want to do online shopping. I'm cool with it because, truth be told, you find a lot of cute stuff from some of that online shopping. But, girl, it felt like the temperature dropped about 10 degrees since I went from one store to another. Last night, I was in my closet editing the video that I put up, which sounds crazy because I was sitting there minding my business watching TV, but I was watching streaming TV. Uh-oh, don't hit me, sir. I'm trying to cross quick. But anyway, I was watching some streaming TV. Lord, they got the speakers up loud. Subject lost. Here I is. Come find me. Get at me. Anyway, what I was saying was the sirens were going off again last night, but I was watching streaming TV. So I guess if you're having a tornado in your area, you only get the warning on TV if you're watching local TV. I don't think I knew that. And so all of a sudden, my phone goes off, and because I'm in my bedroom and it was already quiet, my phone goes off, and as soon as my phone went off, the rain started falling. I mean, it sounded like somebody was throwing rocks on top of the house or something. It was so loud. And so I'm like, oh, what? It's raining? Y'all telling me about a thunderstorm? I look at the phone. No, it's a tornado in the area. I said, oh, okay, wow. I think for streaming TV, I mean, no, it can be local. You know how I know? Because when I'm watching streaming TV, it'll say, here's the weather in Kansas City. Temperature, da 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 da, blah blah. So if they can do that, then they can put that little thing down across the bottom and let me know that it's raining or it's about to be a tornado. Get your butt under some ducking and covering. And once I heard my phone going off, I grabbed my computer and I headed into the closet. I was like, I'll just do my editing in here. And then it just started sounding more like not just rocks, but banging or something. And it got loud. And I'm like, oh, ding dong. They always said it sounds like a train when a tornado comes. So I don't know what exactly I'm hearing. My ceilings are kind of high, but I could hear the noise really good. So I was like, oh, I should grab my girl. If you don't leave that camera out there and just stay your butt in the closet, undercover, like, It's like my grandmother used to say, baby, I may be some dumb, but I ain't plumb dumb. I kind of want to go to Texas Roadhouse. It's right over there. But honestly, like, I don't want to keep complaining about it, but I still have an area here where I'm still numb. And then even my teeth, when I brush my teeth, I have to really watch and look inside my mouth because I don't feel it yet. Still numb in some areas. It's been a good little minute now. All that to say I can't chew into the steak like I would want to be able to chew, or I got to do all my chewing still on the other side, because if I chew on this side, I'll probably bite myself. But a steak do sound kind of good right about now. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go walking, because the clouds is looking a little ominous. Like I could get out there and it start pouring down any minute. Good call to do indoor activity. Also a good call for me to take my little happy parts home. I just love it when the sky looks like that. Good morning, sunshine. Believe it or not, in this fit, we are on our way to the W2. I just got to look at my nails. Yeah. But honestly, I'm so ready to put on nails. And it's weird because I hadn't been a person to put on nails before. And now I want them all the time. But pack and move. And speaking of which, I got a box in the bag. We got box in, riding with us right now. But I got a box in the back. We're packing up more stuff just to leave it in the room. Real talk, y'all, I'm about to clean out a lot of the things I have in my garage. Because I talk about my mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law, being that person who had been left education, but still kept all her old stuff, even if it was, dry rotted. I'm not going to be that person. No, no, no. I'm not going to be retired on the job either. I have enough stuff that's already at work. Our kids deserve more than that, and I've seen it. But sad thing is, another teacher told me that she is leaving. Done. And it wouldn't be sad if she was a mediocre teacher. She's actually a good teacher. But to be a good teacher, it takes a lot of pouring into needy people. And she did that. She and I actually worked on the same team before. And I told her, hey, you're doing too much. Not too much in terms of for the kids, but you're trying to make sure all your paperwork is turned in on time. You don't get no gold star for that. You're trying to make sure that you're on all of these committees and contributing. You don't get no gold star for that. Like, to me, my go above and beyond is strictly for the kids. Strictly. Some may argue, well, being on these committees helps and da da da. No, you're talking to somebody who's been in education too long to be fooled by that tomfoolery. Having us on 50, 11 committees and doing this, that, a third, and another, and being, oh, this is a part of community outreach and all of this. Half the parents don't even show up to a lot of those events and affairs, and I'm glad for it. I wish even less would show up so they could stop doing it and understand that we don't want to work all day plus stay in the evening another couple of hours for an event, have the event during the day. If the parents can't make it, then that's just what it is. People got PTO, sick leave, and all of that stuff. You can do what you want to do. I'm going to tell you what my grandmama taught me a long time ago. She used to say it all the time. Baby, you brave jogging on this road, in the road. You must want to get real fit real bad, but it's hard for dead people to be fit. At least that's what I think. But anyway, she used to say, wait, which point was I talking about? Because my dear had 50, 11 very good sayings, which was very true. And then she had some that was just messy. Like, I never forget one time, this very young girl, she was only a couple of years older than me, and I knew this because I used to have I had a crush on this boy named Pajo. Dang, I can't remember what Pajo's real name is. Because in the South, just about everybody got a nickname, Junebug. Why? Why is that a nickname? That was one of my brother's nicknames. My grandfather used to call me Kymberly Clark all the time. Kymberly Clark. He talked very slowly. And I want to say Kimberly Clark is a potato chip brand. I'm not even sure what that is, but that's what he used to call me. But anyway, Pajo, getting back to him, had me a little crush on me some Pajo. He wasn't even that fine. He really wasn't. Nor was he purposeful. And that's really weird, because even as a kid, I knew something was a little bit off about him, but I couldn't figure out what. And for me, the off was he used to get in trouble in school. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do the right thing in school either. I skipped probably as many days as I attended. I learned that when you take those advanced courses, I also took advanced, it wasn't called journalism, composition, that's what they called it. And when you do that, that means you don't have to take as many classes. So I ended up having a ton of time to take electives. And I took theater, go figure, who would think I'm dramatic? And then it got to a point where I could just flat out work in the office. Like, we just gonna put her in the office for 3 hours. What did they do that for? Baby, I must have been up in that office selling parking passes, because when you get a parking pass, you're able to go in and out as a student as you please. You know, you show the pass. Obviously, you must have gone to work elective, or you must have gone to, oh, what's that building called where they used to go do cosmetology and all that stuff? But you must have gone to that, baby. two for $5, 3 for $10. You know, I was like, whatever. It wasn't really no 3 for $10, believe that. But anyway, it was. What did I sell them for? It was 2 for $5, I know. And then I gave them a discount, maybe like 50-cent discount if they bought 3. So I was like, you can get 3 for $7. You can get, yeah, what do I care? It was all 100% free to me. But anyway, and then I had a whole package deal for $20. I forgot what they could get. It wasn't 4, but it was, listen, I'm knocking my hat off. Talking about, I think I always liked a little hustle. Because I told y'all, that was in high school. In elementary school, I was hustling Kool-Aid and sugar, mixing it up and selling it. And I used to put cinnamon on, but I would put mint too, but usually it was cinnamon. Cinnamon so better on toothpicks and sell those and all that. It was all kind of stuff. Girl, I'm probably have to chuck this video, because I done went all around each and every road and still ain't got to the point. Let me go right on back to my grandmother. So what my grandmother used to say, at least I think this is the one I was talking about. I was talking about Pacho. That was the messy one. Bear with me, y'all. This is insane. I think I'm drunk because we're on our last couple of days, and I'm just drunk on that. Like, oh my goodness, boxing stuff up. But anyway, back to Pacho. Little girl comes up pregnant, and my grandmother used to have a store. I started her store, to be honest, because it was a lady down the street. She used to sell ice cups. Ice cups are just, you get Kool-Aid poured in a cup, freeze it, pop the cup, turn it over, and you got yourself a snow cone, basically a ghetto snow cone. I used to sell them ice cups, I want to say for $10 each, because back then Kool-Aid was cheap and so was sugar. And my grandmother, I used to go down the street, buy some from this one lady. She wasn't the nicest person. And credit to me, my mother and grandmother instilled this in me. If people don't treat me right, you're not going to get my money. I just had an incident with that yesterday when I went to H&M, and I saw a couple of pieces I might have, could have, would have bought, but y'all didn't even say hi to me. And I know y'all are the high-speaking people, because you said hi to some other people that came in behind me. I didn't buy a thing from H&M. But anyway, I was going down the street buying ice cups from this lady, and I didn't like how she talked to me. Or I didn't like the way she talked to children in general. Like, she was really talking like we were doing her a favor by coming and buying her little funky tail ice cups. I said, oh, okay, let me remove that burden from you. So I went and told my grandmother. My grandmother then goes ahead and makes me a whole batch of ice cups. You make a pitcher of Kool-Aid, you might as well pour it all in there. So she made more than I really needed. What she did that for? I turned around and I'm selling them. And she didn't know. And so she had to make another batch. She made it, but she was kind of looking at me sideways. By the time she made the third batch, she was like, look here, look here, I'm not going to keep on making all these batches of Kool-Aid and you sucking it down. You're going to get your sugar up. And lo and behold, I told her, okay, I'm going to slow down. But she still needed to make another batch. So there comes a time when she had an outdoor freezer in the laundry room, and the laundry room was outside. In the South, in Mississippi, they don't really have basements and all that stuff, but they have covered porches. And in my grandmother's covered porch, she had her washer and dryer. Across from that, she had her deep freezer, which is where she was freezing my stuff. Never did she really look at my deep freezer. That was my stuff, right?
She happens to look in the deep freezer. She sees several 1 hour and she sees some missing. Then another time she goes in the bathroom and the bathroom window was right there by the garage well, it wasn't a garage, it was a carport area. And she hears me doing a transaction with somebody who wanted to buy for him. So she come out and she was like, "That's what you've been doing, little girl? I'm over here making Kool-Aid and you selling them and you wait, how much is you making from that?" Boom, a store was born. She sold ice cups, pillets, candy, chips. That's a pillet. That's how they pronounce it. It was pickled eggs. But anyway, she sold a whole bunch of stuff. That's how her store got born. Going back anyway, little girl comes to her store. She's buying some stuff and she's pregnant. My grandmother asked her, "Baby, who baby that is?" And she said, "Did Pajo baby?" And the girl looked at me, with the evil eye, because she knew every summer I come to Pajo. That was supposed to be my little boyfriend. And she gives me the evil eye or whatever. I had been seeing the girl. I had been seeing her evil eyes. And she used to always talk about how I think I'm better because I'm from up north. I'm in the Midwest, but you would have thought it was New York, the way she talked about it. But she's like, "I think I'm better. You from New York," and all this other stuff. Afterwards, she would lay into me and tell me about how she finna have Pajo baby. She about to live the life of peaches and cream. She never did. Because when I tell you Pajo, he was not that guy. But whatever. Anyway, my grandmother's asking who baby that is. And she said, "This Pajo baby." Looks at me, does whatever. And my grandmother said, "Let me tell you something, shit. That ain't no more Pajo baby than it is mine." You know what the girl said? "Yes, ma'am." Because they're real respectful in the South. I don't know if they are anymore, but when I was little, very respectful in the South. So you say, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Let me tell you something else. When you run through the briar patch quick and hard as you done ran through that briar patch, you know what thorn done stuck you." And the girl said, "Yes, ma'am," again. Truly embarrassing, truly embarrassing. I did not have the gift of lay into you as I do now. And it's not a flex, because I have said things that I've honestly had to go back and pray about. But in my defense, I will say, first of all, I come from a lineage of women who know how to slice you so thin you don't even know you bled to death until it's too late. But I have said things to people that I know cut deep. However, I've never done it until and unless they come at me. And like, you got to keep coming at me before I do that. And then once I do that, it's done. And I'm the bee. Most people who know me well have stopped saying that. Stop saying like, "Dang, you went too hard," son. Because they know you must have come too many times. Because I'm one who's real good for letting stuff roll off my back, which is kind of bad and also good. It allows me time to really see, is this what you really want? Is this what you're really on? Okay. Then now I don't feel bad about giving you what I'm about to give you. But the other part of it is that by me allowing stuff to roll off my back, like I'll say, "That's how you feeling? That's how you," like, that's, to me, that's my warning shot. That's letting you know, I see what you're doing. I see how you're moving. Is that really where you want to go with this? Is that okay? Oh, okay. You want to go back and forth, and I'm really not on that. Or is that because I've told you I care? I told you I want to, but is you still on? Okay, I'm gonna let you have that then. And a lot of times people misinterpret that as me being soft. I'm not soft like that. Ooh, am I about to be late to work? Maybe. Am I ever going to make my point? Also, a maybe. But anyway, some of the sayings that I was trying to say my grandmother raised us up on that have just come true to life is another one she would always say is, "Po people got po ways." And she would add to that by saying, people beg for what they need and pay for what they want. Meaning they might beg you to get their light bill turned on and all of that stuff, and no sooner than they do, they're smoking on a cigarette. So they're begging for what they need, light bills, and paying for what they want, a cigarette. Like, you got to do better.
And I take you out tonight to a movie, to the park. I'll have you home before it's dark, so let me know